Welcome to Radical Underdogs, and we are lined up on the grid at Donington Park for race 2. Race 1 went okay. We're a little bit further back this time, starting where we finished last time out. The red lights are on and now they are off. And a good start by Bo Parry. He spent a long time in the last race trying to get past us. He's passed us already down onto the run down to the first corner. However, we've made quite a good start as well. That's Matt Flowers in car 22. We're alongside. There's 3 or 4 cars alongside. We're actually taking a nice braking line into that first corner along Redgate. And car 63, Thomas Greenwood, we're alongside. He's actually got slightly ahead, but that was a nice bit of braking down into turn 1, down the slippery, slidey bits of the circuit down into Redgate, down into the old hairpin. It's still slippery. It's a dry line. It's definitely drier than last race. If you watched the last race, we were side by side. Didn't quite carry all the speed through because I knew that that was Matt Flowers on the outside there. I knew I couldn't carry as much speed as I'd like to down into the old hairpin. Giving each other room on the first lap, it is pretty important. I know MX-5s can have a bit of contact. You see, working hard at the steering wheel, trying to keep us in a straight line. Slow is Thomas Greenwood down, but no way through there. He was just, I think maybe missed a gear or something out at the top of the hill there. Got Simon Waterfall though, nicely making his way through on the inside. We've got the inside line, but we're not quite. And there's red flag. There is a red flag out. It was going to be quite tight down into the chicane on lap 1, but it's obviously a lap 1 incident earlier around. Obviously, we didn't pass it, so it must be somewhere around out on the circuit. So red flag. You can see Simon is, I don't know if you can see it, this guy's absolutely furious. He has made a fantastic start and he's going to have all of that eliminated because of course it's a lap 1 incident and we go back to our original starting positions. You see the rain is starting to come down now, so this is not sure about what this is going to be. Starting, here we are, take 2. Almost a jump start there by Thomas Greenwood, but I think he managed to get it stopped in time. Maybe he's missed a gear. Maybe all of that excitement of almost jump starting and not jump starting managed. Anyway, we've got a great start down around. You can see a contact behind. Car says 4 into 1, just didn't go there. I think everyone managed to continue. You can see Bo Parry was mixed up in that. He's lost a lot of ground. Got car 848, Matt Crozier, and we've seen Matt before fighting for position, and we are basically side by side as we go down through the Craner curves down into the old hairpin, but fortunately managing to keep it clean. And it's 4 cars up ahead all fighting for position 2 by 2. We're going to make it 6 cars fighting for position. As you can see Matt down on the inside. We were a bit wide, taking a bit of a wet line. Not quite sure whether the wet line or the dry line is most appropriate. It's probably dry because there is a dry line appearing, but you can see the water has been falling from the sky, otherwise known as rain. And you can see car 99, Russell Halley, having a problem, I think, there, and losing some position, either missing a gear or having a problem with the car overall because he's dropped back quite quickly through the field. That has been to our advantage as we go through the chicane down into the Melbourne Loop for the first time of this restarted race. It's definitely not settling down yet. Down on the outside you can see the cars fighting position up ahead. Well, if I just take the normal line as it were, maybe I can get a decent run on both of them. There's Matthew McCluskey in car number 2, and I think that was we'll catch up to it is in a second, but down into the last corner. Never liked this corner. Cars kind of almost coming together. You can see actually it's a bit of a slippery line. That's given Matt a nice run. You can see he had a great exit out of that last corner, which means he is going to be, well, we've got the inside line still. He didn't quite get, we got our front wheels alongside his back wheels. Are we able to extend the braking like we did in the first corner, first time out down after the lights went out? No. Matt managing to brake just late enough to keep that position. It's all been go in the last couple of laps. You can see the front of the field just going through the old hairpin now. So with all this fighting, we haven't lost too much ground to the front of the race, but if we carry on fighting like this, we definitely will. This is the thing with MX-5. So if you end up fighting... Oh, you see... That is absolutely on the limit of track limits. Clipping the bollard there. I think that's exactly where you're supposed to be, going up under the Starkey's bridge there. Or not under the bridge anymore, but up Starkey, up that hill anyway. There's cars side by side. Matt going for it as we go up now, because it's gone back to the racing line, knowing they're probably going to be slow as we go down the start-finish straight. And indeed they are. We're going to make it 3 wide as we go down the back straight. You can see Matt giving us a little cheeky little look. I got 3 wide. I was getting a bit of a helping hand. You can see Matthew McCluckey there on the inside, and that has actually enabled car 33, I think, to get through as well. So that was, I had a great plan there. It kind of got a bit scuppered. You can see Russell Halley making a bit of a comeback. You saw him probably selecting the wrong gear earlier, and he lost those positions, and in a way giving that up a little bit easily actually. I thought I might just get a better line round the outside, but clearly not the case. Actually, well, maybe it is the case, because I'm potentially going to be down the inside for that last corner, but no. Oh, the car's, he's lost it. We've got contact. Oh, no. Oh, let's go for a replay and see what happened there, because, yeah, that's another contact in the last corner, and we're side by side now with Nick Ledoyen in car 75. Right, here we go again. Here's the replay, and you can see Russell's up ahead of us, but I think there's a car gets out of shape up ahead of him. He then locks his brakes, and there's nowhere for me to go, and I'm back into the back of Russell. I thought I'd made a mistake for most of this race, but then actually talking to Russell afterwards, that was his conclusion as well. So racing incident, as it turns out, really. And we've got now down on the inside, we've got the racing line, or at least the inside line, down into Redgate, and that has meant we've fended off is Nick Ledoyen in car 75. Changed livery for this year. It's confused me throughout this season commentating on this, but yeah, down on the inside into Redgate, which means that now we've lost a lot of time through that contact, obviously. We've got Simon Waterfall in car number 24 up ahead of us, and well, let's see if we can catch up with and get some of these places back, because yeah, that was quite the incident. It was all bound to happen, wasn't it? You had sort of 4 or 5 cars together, and it was, generally speaking, pretty clean racing, but it just got to the point where they had one little mistake, and it sort of, the cars one goes into the other, and there's nowhere for people to go. So racing incident in the end, but you can see giving a bit of a bump draft here, because actually this is what I was talking about before, is if you work together, sometimes you can catch up with the cars in front. And obviously we've lost a lot of time. I don't really want to fall back into the clutches of Nick, who is behind us, and I don't really want to, I really want to get some better points in this race actually. So this year's been quite good for getting top 10 finishes. Previously I struggled to get into the top 10, and this year has been a huge improvement, and some of that has been sort of racing to better racecraft, just generally being faster. I think that's the answer, by the way. If you want to get better at racing, just be faster. Some of that has also been, I've rebuilt the engine, of course, over the winter, so I had some help doing that. Thank you very much to everyone who helped me do that. So I think the engine is faster this year, so I think that has helped. I had some race driver training from Jordan Pimley, that's also helped as well. So I think it's all kind of coming together a bit this year, and I ended up being on the, not quite the front row, because the car in front had to be pushed out the way at Brands Hatch, but I sort of was kind of on the front row. I think started 3rd position on a restart at Brands Hatch, and I think my best finishing position is 5th now, 4th or 5th? 5th, I think, from earlier in the year. So going from really struggling to get into the top 10 to having a top 5 finish, and you can see if he's looking in his mirrors, I'm telling Simon to go, because I'm not going to attack here, because if Simon starts defending and I don't get past, then we're just going to slow up and fall behind even further. So I'm saying go, because we absolutely need to catch up with the cars in front if we're going to make anything of this race. down the back straight again. This is exactly where you get the slipstreams. If I had a better exit again, I could probably pass Simon here, but I'm saying, come on, let's go. I'm giving him a bit of a bump. Let's work together. Let's try and catch up. I think Matt Crozier is the car ahead a bit further up. You saw he actually benefited quite nicely from that incident in the last corner 2 laps ago now. And he's been driving off a little bit into the distance here. And I don't think we're catching, even working together here, I don't think we're catching him. Matt is proving to be quick around the circuit, and we're gonna struggle to catch up. Although, of course, quite a few cars did go out, and you saw cars at the start having a few incidents as well. So I don't actually know what position I'm in at the moment, but it certainly feels like this is actually a much better race than it was last time. I qualified, I think, 7th. And lost quite a few positions in the first race, but this race certainly feels like it's going a bit better, mostly through the misfortune of others, of course, which is never to be celebrated, but you know what, I'll take the positions. It could be worse. So going into, I think we're sort of midway through the race now. You saw last time out I complained massively about these yellow blocks on the circuit. This time I'm just going to talk about something a little bit different. Normally I do some sort of garage corner segment around this point of the race. This time I'm going to talk a little bit about Driving Ukraine, which is a charity I have supported, and by the way, we're cutting to a different part of the circuit. Don't worry about that, nothing happened in that time. This is the whole Insta 360 problem that you've got. Anyway, what was I doing? I was saying a little bit of a shout out for Driving Ukraine. This is a not-for-profit organisation which delivers vehicles to the armed forces of Ukraine, basically to support evacuation of wounded soldiers from the front line. I went on a convoy myself, and we delivered some Hilux vehicles and an ambulance out to Ukraine, and I just wanted to give a little bit of a plug for that charity. If there's something you think, actually it's something I could be doing, making a bit of a difference into what I think is probably the biggest crisis in Europe. This isn't a political channel, by the way, but it's still one of the biggest crises in Europe. So if you feel like supporting that not-for-profit, then just give me a shout and I'll let you know, or just go to their website, which is drivingukraine.org. Anyway, back to the racing, and we got past Simon. You could see he almost let us past in the end, because I think he could see we weren't actually making any progress. He absolutely didn't fight that pass down into the chicane, which, this is back to my point. If you've been a bit of a veteran racer on MX-5s, don't fight the positions which you're just going to lose, because you're just going to lose time fighting it, and you're probably going to lose the position anyway. And so it's just not worth it. And that's what I absolutely learned that in sort of the racecraft of MX-5 racing. Absolutely fight tooth and nail for positions on the first lap and the last lap, definitely. So if you think you can keep someone behind you, you can probably keep them behind you maybe for a lap, even if they are faster. But over the course of a race in one of these cars, you're probably going to make a mistake and let them pass it at some point anyway. And if they're faster, you might as well try and follow them through, use their slipstream, try and catch up with the cars in front. And you can see I'm just driving particularly hard. This is probably one of the fastest laps. I'm just doing qualifying laps now, so absolutely trying to nail the apexes, nailing the racing lines. I'm going down to 3rd at the top here. I don't know whether it's worth sticking in 4th. It might be worth some comments if you think that you've been watching this and thinking, well, you could probably stick in 4th for that. I have tried it. It just appeared to be slower, especially in the slightly slippery conditions. You can see this is basically dry now. I'm basically doing qualifying laps now, and it's more or less dry. You can see there is some wet, damp parts on the circuit, but it is more or less dry. I'm obviously taking a few more risks than I would do during a track day or something, because of course we're racing here at Donington Park. And if you're interested in seeing what it's like for yourself, then I would really encourage you to get out for a track day. It doesn't have to be as mental as this, really. So you're not. There is of course risk at going to any circuit, but there's a lot less risk if you drive sensibly during a track day, of sort of damaging a car or anything like that. And it is just worth seeing what it can do. It's much easier to see what it can do out on a circuit than it is on the road. Much safer as well, because just look here, if you get it horribly wrong, you're out into the gravel before you hit a nice cushy tyre barrier, not crashing into trees or whatever, or children on the side of the road. So yeah, I'd always recommend a track day, and they're not that much these days. points as well. So unlike test days, which are just getting ludicrously expensive, and it's worth, I don't know, that's probably another rant of mine about how much test days cost these days. Test day for the MX-5 is now almost costing more than the actual race day, which is just a bit mad, really, isn't it? Like, what you'd think that the race would be the expensive bit, but no, apparently it's the testing which is becoming the most expensive bit. So I haven't been testing, and so actually it's pretty good, this position where I'm in, having not done any testing basically all year. I've done no real, I've done a few track days here and there, but I've not done any test days. Like, these are the actual official test days that MSV do. And on those, the difference between, you might ask, what's the difference between that and the track day? Well, the difference between that and the track day is that you can, well, for example, you're not supposed to time your laps on a track day. I know plenty of people do, but you're not supposed to time your laps on a track day. And the passing rules on a track day are very quite restrictive. You have to pass on the straights only, not under braking, blah blah blah. Whereas on a test day, you can pretty much pass anywhere. The other sort of advantage is that most people on a test day are racing as well, so you don't tend to get caught up behind someone going like really slow. Of course, I'm probably the person who's going really slow because the MX-5 is probably one of the slower race cars out there. I don't know if it's on the same sort of par as maybe some of the other kind of cheaper tin top series, so it's not super slow. But you don't get caught up behind sort of slow people on road cars and stuff if you're going out on a test day. So there's loads of advantages to doing test days. For me, I just don't get the value out of them, especially if you're on your own or you've just got a mate supporting you. Those half-hour test sessions, it's very difficult to come in and change something and then also get some value out of that test session. You kind of feel like you have to be out there for the full 30 minutes. And the reality is that if you come into the pits and then get out the car and then you change something to get back in, strap back in, all the rest of it, you probably lose 10 or 15 minutes. And if you're paying 400 quid or something for the track day, it's like £400. It is something like that these days. And you only get 4 30-minute sessions for that amount of money. You kind of feel like you have to be using all that track time, which means you don't really test as much as you would like. But so the open pit lane track days, which just means that you can go in and out the pits whenever you feel like it, for me are just better value, I think. So I think that although if you then test, the test days are often the Friday before the race weekend. So again, if you're racing up against people who are testing, that is a disadvantage, and that's one of the reasons that I've been thinking, well, actually maybe I go to a different race series, because this race series is mostly teams, and as well as I've been doing this year, getting top fives and stuff, I think to get any higher up than that, I think I'm going to be putting in a lot more work, either with finding myself a team to help me with my setup, doing a lot more testing, do a lot more driver training. That's, for me, that's just going to be really expensive, I think. Coming in, I think we're on the last lap. I know there's a car's off on the circuit, and there's a car up ahead smoking away. I think that's because you can see, I think it's number 86. I think that's well, the car was definitely struggling to get over the line there. I think there's been contact up ahead. That's Austin Pegg in car 86. And those last two positions has meant I've been finished position 8. So, and I think there was a disqualification potentially up ahead as well. So, I've been promoted to 8th position here, which is a pretty good end to this race weekend. Well, thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. And the next one is Cadwell Park, so see you then.